I mean, it's a good feeling when something new works, like the way you're like when that carbonation first cap comes off, or even this one that was even more accentuated. It's like awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks, science. What's going on, everybody? It's Chip and William. We're here in Northern Brewer HQ. We got a really cool, unique tasting notes to deliver today on a fun project that involves BR-8, Fermentis' new dry Brett strain. We're so impressed with the results actually of this that we're going to share the experience with some of you with a giveaway at the end of this video. So stick around to find out how you can win the components to build what we've done here. William, drop some science on what this unique, innovative strain is.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's the first commercially dried Brett strain available. It's been selected to be used during bottle conditioning mainly. Part of that selection is it doesn't touch dextrins, so you shouldn't have problems with overcarbonation, gushers, a lot of stuff often related with Brett beers. The other pretty cool thing is it gets its flavor profile fairly quickly and continues to develop, so you'll start tasting it in the first 1 to 3 months. You'll get some of those classic hay, barnyard, pineapple characters going on with it.
So armed with that knowledge from Fermentis, we stepped into the brew cave with R&D brewer Brad Siegel. He brewed our Karl's 90 Shilling kit, a really kind of malty, on the upper side of ABV kit. You ferment it clean in this case, so he went through the all-grain brew day, fermented it with Imperial Yeast Tartan, Scottish yeast strain, went from 1066 to 1011, so about 7.5 plus. And then it was time for William and I to step in and bottle it. So what you do with the BR-8, you kind of make a slurry, you kind of bloom it to some extent in water, let it sit, then you stir it, and then you add that slurry to your bottling bucket, put in your priming solution, or in our case, the Fast Prime priming solution that we sell in cans, and then top it up, fill it up, rack your beer into the bottling bucket so it all gets nice and incorporated, and then bottle from there. Again, we're going to talk bottles here. You've kegged, you can keg. I think the idea here is, though, bottling offers the opportunity to taste it a little bit more individually along its path, and then once you hit up the flavor profile over months you want, get it cold, drink it quick.
Yep. And I think that's been part of our experience and fun with playing is trying it at different stages and seeing how it's developed too.
Right, so we're at basically 3 months from brew day now. So we have the base beer, or we had the base beer, then we sampled it at 1 month. So this is the 2.5-ish, 3 month version. The base beer, Scottish ale, big malt, kind of, I wouldn't say burnt sugars, but some of those more rich.
Dark sugars.
Yeah, I like the description on our product page is apt. It's boozy praline. It's this very decadent, kind of nutty, toasty, sweet, boozy. Yep. So we had that on tap here, which was awesome because the first month when we drank BR-8, so now it is carbonated in the bottle. The Brett has gone to work. The residual yeast in the beer did the carbonation, but the Brett is doing flavor work. Or does the Brett actually help with the carbonation too?
It'd be both. It would be, the sack strain would do most of the heavy lifting up front. The Brett strain would be also doing some of it, but it's also working on some of those precursors for the Brett flavors and start giving you that characteristic Brett.
So month 1, we opened this bottle. We were all very happy to find that it did the tss, had the sound, had a little waft of carbonated, so I don't know, it's not steam, but anyway, whatever, coming off.
Magic.
And the nose was immediately different than the base beer. What did we get there, William?
Yeah, we got dark cherries, some leathery, not super funky, but it was definitely in that wheelhouse going that way. But I think everybody kind of noted that fruity Brett character coming up, which it matches what Fermentis says, is you get a lot more of that fruit up front in the early months, and as it ages, it gets a little bit more of that funk to it.
We also noted, you said musty funk, light tobacco, but the base beer was still there. I remember your overall impression was, seems like an old Bruin with a higher hop character.
Yeah, going in that oud brewing character, as someone pointed out, it's not sour because it's just Brett in there, so it doesn't have that sourness it has, but it's definitely getting that character that they have.
Month 2, or pretty much where we're at now. We kind of slept a little bit on getting exactly to it. So we're going to call it 2.5 months, but almost 3. We're getting to kind of where Fermentis said these flavors should really start hitting I don't know if I'd call it a peak, but a noticeable different vibe. And the tasting notes for this, when we sat down yesterday and had it for the first time, are way longer than the first month. Like, there's so much more going on here, right? Cherry, raspberry, you said musty basement, but in a good way.
Yeah.
What is that?
I mean, like how you describe hops as dank, that can be almost like a musty. I mean, they're completely different, but
Yeah.
in some people's mind it sounds negative, but it's actually a positive. And it plays with the other flavor characteristics too. So it's just not musty.
Right.
It's playing with a little bit of the tobacco, the leather, that cherry or raspberry character. They're kind of melding together and making it a symphony.
Still, you taste the beer. We're not talking about Brett flavored water. I mean, or even like one of those blondes that just gets super dry. I mean, this beer is actually putting in some work at staying a nice malty, kind of warming beer. We did note spritzier, fruitier, somewhat thinner, but malt body is still there, just a little decreased. I don't know if that's a sensation thing or...
Yeah, it's hard when it's spritzy on your tongue. It's going to feel lighter. But yeah, you still get a lot of that toasty, bready character, which other Brett strains can very quickly chew that up.
Spicy, allspice. We got into a nerd rabbit hole of phenolics. We talked a lot about how we think the allspice and the spiciness of this, and I asked you if somebody wanted to ramp this even further up and make it more impactful. You kind of said, well, do things that build phenolic precursors.
Yep. So I used Hefeweizen for an example, because you'll want to mash at different temperatures to help build up that 4VG
Yep.
precursor, which is for yeast to make phenolics. Another classic thing to get more of that phenolic Brett character is to use it in a beer that's already had a phenolic yeast, so like Saison, where those are very spicy yeast and already have a lot of phenolic characters in there. So I think they just build off each other if you're looking for that very classic phenolic spicy Brett characteristic.
Whereas here we have a fairly clean beer with a primary fermentation with a clean non-phenolic yeast, and it still went in and found stuff to convert into these flavors. It tastes very good. If somebody were to use BR-8, this is not a clean Brett, right? Like, you still have the same concerns of you might want to have different equipment or at least have a very good sterilization regimen.
Yep. So like we bottled this. I would consider everything you bottle with it to be Brett, and mark it, colored tape, Sharpie, something, and keep it separate.
Brad immediately was like, get that out of the
Yep.
brew cave. It now lives in another part of the office area.
And I have a batch, and I put it in a keg, so I have that keg. It's one of my Brett kegs, so I have it separated. So
maybe other styles. When we started this project, a couple of our other retail brethren and sistren brewed some beers that we might follow up with as well. But there's everything across the gamut, from hoppy IPAs to the functional fruit sour with the raspberry puree. Any styles you think are in that wheelhouse or definitely not in that wheelhouse?
I go to a lot of the Belgian beers right away, because so many of them do have Brett characters. So like any Saison, almost, I would think you could do that with. How this is working in a dark malty beer like this, I think a Belgian quad or a Belgian double with this would be really nice.
Yes.
Double actually sounds really good now that I said that out loud. Yeah, I think kind of the sky's the limit almost. You just want to be careful. You're going to get phenolic, so if you don't want spicy character in it, stay away from that style.
Like in this, where the spice is just now kind of coming in. What about a mild, like a Brett mild?
Yeah.
And is that to say, if we were super happy with this right now, obviously we want to taste 4, 5, 6, 7 months.
Yep.
But if you were really happy and you knew it, get it in the fridge now, right? You want to stop any activity going on. Okay.
Yeah, because it will continue to mature and work on it and change flavor.
Okay. Well, as far as this kit working so well, we want to share the experience with some of you, basically building a ready-made party pack prize package that's going to come with Karl's 90 Shilling, either extract or all grain, your choice. That's going to come with SO4 yeast from Fermentis for the clean side, the primary. You're going to get a packet of BR-8. to bottle with, and then we're also going to throw in the fast prime can priming solution just to make that bottling day that much easier. And Fermentis is going to throw you some swaggity, some wearables,
What everybody cares
some
about.
party goods. So yeah, so the way you get entered in that, it's pretty easy. Go to the comments section below this YouTube video on YouTube and tell us your experience with Brett. What other styles you think this BR-8 might play well in? Like, what would you first brew with it? If you're one of the 5 that wins the Karls, we clearly know what you're going to brew with it. But what else do you think? Just share your Brett experience, because William is a huge Brett head. I love Brett beers, so we would love to just hear all your experiences with it. Do that before Friday, March 24th. On that day, we will randomly select 5 winners, and we'll give you a little ping in reply to your comment. But I would say if you don't win the BR-8 and the Karls, definitely get it. Put it at something that like you said, spicy as hell or muted, and just kind of building those horsey barnyard characters.
Any brown, not like a nut brown or a caribou slobber, I think would be really good with this. Just after trying this, anything in that kind of flavor profile would be really good. We talked about doing a porter at first, and we weren't sure with the roast and the spice, but the level of phenolics in this, I would definitely try it with a porter after tasting this now.
Okay. It's the new frontier of yeast, y'all. Well, of Brett, y'all.
The new old new.
Cheers, man.